just start with the session. It is about enterprise editorial experience with Drupal. And my name is Stefan Weber. I'm Austrian-Chilean, and I'm part of the 1x Internet team here in Germany, and been around here in the Drupal space also for some years, in IT longer, but Drupal maybe for I think 14 years or so already. And I am the CTO at 1x Internet, and I'm glad to be here and to be able to show you what we think is a good or great editorial experience made with Drupal. And short about us, like we're 1x Internet, as I said, full service digital agency, and we're really good at Drupal. We do IT consultancy, design, development in Drupal, and also a lot in React, and also online marketing and hosting and things the like. We're just around about like 50 people, an international team. We speak over 18 different languages at our company, and we're located throughout Europe. So the agenda for today, I'm going to be doing like a little demo. Yes, demos are dangerous, but I think like the topic like requires a demo. Like screenshots would just not be verbose enough in that sense, and therefore we're starting even with a demo, and then we're just gonna or I'm gonna be talking about why even bother like about the admin backend if that's not what the user in the end sees, or like the site visitor, some UX principles, also the modules we use for our approach, and then there's going to be questions and answers part. So if you have any questions, just like post them in the Q&A section, and yeah, let's go. So the demo. I've prepared a pretty basic site install from our installation profile that we use internally at 1x Internet, and as you can see, we have like a simple site here, you know, like with some elements, some references, some like a little gallery and some text and stuff, and so, but the interesting part here and what I want to show today is actually the editorial experience. So as you can see here, we use like the Gin theme. If you don't know it, the Gin theme is based on the Claro theme. It's also made by one of the contributors to the Claro theme, and we chose this because we think it's like has a really fresh look and a really modern look, and it actually offers like a really good UX like on the Drupal backend. As you can see here, we have like, you can just like expand, and I've created here a little bit of content, and since this is like a demo about editorial experience, I'm also just going to create content live now here, so you can see like sort of how we do this and how we like how we give this to our clients, and maybe you can have some takeaways from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a simple page. You know, we use like heavily like the paragraphs module because we think it's a great way of structuring content. It's easy to oversee like what the sections are, and it's very, very flexible with the things you can do. And so I'm going to create the page here, which is going to call it DrupalCon North America 2021. And so what we have, like we always have, like we put everything like in three sections, right? Like a preview. This is like when you reference pages, you need to have some preview text and an image or something. Then we usually have a header section and a content section that are separated because like normally you wouldn't put any let's say, hero sliders or something in the content, and therefore we separate this. And the other thing is like we can also add a sidebar left or right, right? That would give us like here another tab. But in our case, we just leave it without. So let's start like quickly with the preview. Just gonna add some text here and pick an image. Let's take this one, fits to the topic. And then in the header, we're just gonna add a slideshow. So we can choose here like, so we use like from the paragraphs model, we use like the paragraph behaviors, which are meant like they're not like regular fields on the paragraphs, but they're just like plugins like that, like define like how the layout is supposed to be. And what we, for example, have like always in every paragraph is like sort of like the selection of the width. And like since we're just having here like a hero slider, we will just go here full screen, okay, or full width to be more precise. I'm just going to add some media, just an image here, maybe like a team image, and then we could add some text or something, but we're just like gonna add a link here to the DrupalCon, and just like provide a text for it, and then I'm just gonna add a second slide with a second image. So I have another team image here. So that's that like for this section of the page. Then moving over to the content, I'm just gonna add like a hero image, maybe. No, like sorry. For the content section, we're just gonna add like an image text section, right? There's this paragraph here, and here you can see again that we just like use like these paragraph behaviors again. So for example, like what we offer here for the image text one is like, where should the image be positioned? We just like put it on the right side here. We always have like a theme behavior where you say like you want to have the dark or the light theme or no theme, and like that obviously like changes per project, but it's really often wanted like by the customer. So then we have like, we can always set like the top spacing and the bottom spacing. Let's just leave it how it is at the moment. And here the width we can also control again, like for the same way as we controlled it like for the header part. And we just leave it as in the content width, and just also can just add some text here for a reference. And then we obviously need an image, and there we're just going to take like this shot here. All right, and for the image, I can also select like the image ratio, or like let's say like it's the image style, right? And here I'm just going to pick like the hero. I want to have it big and full width, and actually here we set no, it's not. Sorry, here we are in the content section, so I'm just going to use like the original, so it's not going to be cropped. It's going to be in its original view mode. Then we're just going to add some other stuff, like let's say like let's add a video. I have here one prepared with Gabor that I found somewhere, and then a little bit more stuff. We're just going to add some page references, right? So like that's the nice thing here, like with paragraphs, like even though they live only on the parent entity, you can use like reusable elements from the page. And here we can just go and say, let's say here, it's going to reference the front page, and we're going to have like, oh wait, what else have I got here? Some other elements. Let's just leave it with 2, okay? And at the bottom, we're just going to add like a gallery. And here again, like we just maybe just put the dark theme on, so we get like a bit of a divider with the background. And we're just going to add here a couple of images. Let's just pick a few. And that's it. So I think our page is like pretty much done, and we go save, and it complains because like I'm actually supposed to have only 300 characters here. So I'm just gonna take some of this out. And as you can see, now we're on 274, and that should just work. So this is the page that we created, right? With our text image and our hero, and the video with Gabor, and like the two references to two pages, and a gallery on the bottom here. So now, like what we also use is like a module that we also maintain ourselves, is like sort of in-place editing. So there's others there that can do this, but like the nice thing about this one is that it actually works nicely on paragraphs and any other entities, and it actually has no dependencies to any of the core form things, and therefore we just like show here like the like an iframe with the edit form of the element that just shows like also in the backend theme. So like you have like a concise like user experience here with the theme that you know like as an editor, right? We just expand a little bit, and we could say like here, let's change just like the image position to the other side, and save this, and then we will just see that like the image switches to the other side. So it's like a really simple way for editors to improve their already existing content on the page itself. So now I created this page, and like let's say like this is like sort of like an example for a good landing page that I created here, because like if it's not a content type, then you obviously also have a little bit the challenge. Like if you now want to not have a content type for every type of page you do, you still want to be able to, let's say, recreate a page that has like the same structure as this one without like sort of adding like the paragraphs one by one again. So we just also created like a little module where we can actually go and declare a page as a template, right? So we just go here and I say, this is my template, you know, landing page with gallery or something, and I can categorize it like in landing pages. I think I have a taxonomy for that, and then like this page would serve me as a template, just like a little bit like as you have seen it like from how Google Docs does it, right? And so if I go now and say like go to the content overview and want to create a page that is like similar to this one, then I would go and say like create from template, and I would get like this overview with the templates I've created. And one of them is like, for example, like this landing page with gallery. I forgot to add an image, like so it looks a bit nicer, but it also comes with a default one. So I would go and create, start from this one. And as you can see, like it just creates a clone of this page, and I could just go and rename it and call it like DrupalCon 2022 and just change the text to my liking, right? So now there's maybe something interesting here as well, because what we also have in place is, so like if you create like pages to use them as a template, then you will probably also use like some text that like it's just like demo text, right? And so for example, like this quick brown fox jumps over a lazy dog, this we don't want to have on our site. So we just added a module where we can say where we can validate like the content on the page, and we can just say like, okay, so we don't want to have like, we should be warned like if we use like any of these words like in our pages, right? So I save this, and if I would go now again to my overview and would then again like create from the template, right? And then do this again here and say 2022. And then let's say I forgot like to change like the text somewhere, and I would hit save, then it would actually warn me and say that like here the field contains like forbidden words, right? So I don't make the mistake of just like using like demo text anywhere. So then, so that was the content validation. And but like easily enough now I could just go and say like that's 2022, and I'm going to trick here and going to disable the content validation because I'm sure that that text is correct, and I will just like change like, I don't know, okay, that didn't like catch here, so I'm just going to put some other text. And then I'm going to change here the image to something else. No, I'm wrong here. This one. Yeah, it keeps jumping back. So I'm going to then add this picture here. And I guess like I really need to save first. Anyhow, but now it worked, and then I could create my page like out of this template and just change the things that I'm interested in, right? So like as you can see here, like with the front end editing, I can also like easily change any of the items on the thing. So like for example, like if I don't like this picture here, I can just take it out and add a new one. We use like the media browser that's in core now, which is like also like a really nice improvement to the other solutions that were there before, like with, for example, the entity browser. This is like much nicer to use. And here we go. And that's like our change gallery. What we also did is that we used like a lot, obviously, like the meta tag module, because like it's important to have proper like meta tags on your sites, right? And the problem is that it becomes quite big, the form for the meta tag, and often you just like use like the defaults, you know, like it pulls like the right image, it pulls like the right text for the description, but obviously there's much more. There's for the Twitter cards, and there's like for other sharing and whatnot, or like even maybe Open Graph and like for the schema.org JSON LD things that are also like really helpful. Like if you're, for example, have like few content types, but you still want to, let's say, like create pages that resemble like a person or like some other schema compatible entity, then you can obviously like here also declare a page, like even if it's like it's a generic content type, you can declare them as like another type. Yeah. Then one more thing that we use is we use like the autosave module. You saw here briefly like that it was saving like a draft. So basically, like if I go here and say like changed, right? And then I would go here and open the link in a new tab. Then it should actually warn me. Now that was like a little bit too fast. Let's do it again. Now it saved it. Yeah, so now it just warns me that actually that I have like an edit in progress, or someone has an edit in progress, and allows me like to either resume editing or discard the changes, right? So I can do resume editing, and you see that like it's memorized here, like the changed part. And that is obviously also really practical for people that work like with a lot of content and have maybe a few tabs open and things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of the part of the live demo. Quickly jump back because like time runs quite fast here. And so why bother? So the reasons why we put a lot of effort into the editorial backend is that like obviously like your customers, they use this every day, and they need like a concise way of working, and it should like help them to do their job and not annoy them. Like if the editorial experience is good, you will have to document less for your clients, or you will also have to train your the editors less, because like if everything like kind of speaks for itself and it's kind of obvious how to do things, you will have no need for more explanation, and people will also feel comfortable with using it. And it also gives you a competitive advantage. Like if you pitch for a Drupal project and you can present like a demo system with a great user interface for the editors, then that is like something that can give you like the extra points when you need them. So as for the UX principles, it's actually quite simple. So the content editing goes always in the center, right? And options are left and right in sidebars. Actions should be organized in a logical way, you know, like so you can just like, you don't have to jump up and down. You just like go like through your work process and then you're done. And it should be consistent. So everything should work always the same way wherever you go. Show as little as possible, you know, like, so remove all unnecessary options. I mean, there's still like tons of options that you have to display. So like the less you can do, the better, because it's then easier to understand. And short paths to success, like that counts as good UX practice, like for the front end, but it also does obviously like for your UX in the back end, right? You also need to try to anticipate the user action. Like for example, in this example, like when you edit a page, it would not jump to the preview like it would do when you edit a new page. It jumps right to the content, because that's the section that's most likely you're wanting to change now. And then obviously you need to make it beautiful. So the modules that we use here are Gin. So it's a great extension or like a module on top of the Claro. Then the front-end editing, which we maintain, the content templates, which is also a module that we maintain, content validation as well, and the autosave form that that we also maintain, or we sponsor like maintenance like from our company.
Hey, Stefan, you've got about 7 minutes left for QA.
Yes, and I just reached the QA section. So if anyone has any questions, Diego was like going to help me here a little bit. And if there's any questions, like ask them.
Yeah, so there are some questions that were already answered by João and Badi. So one I'll just read, because I was told that the questions are not going to be saved with the session. So about Gin and very hot theme these days, are there any issues? And João responded that it's a subtheme of Claro and it's evolving quite nicely. And we are using it for all our projects, and we haven't really seen anything that would prevent us from using it in projects, and the clients also like it. But João posted the list for the known issues. Then there was a question about accessibility in Gin. And do you know, Stefan, how accessible the theme is?
I actually don't, but I know that Claro is really accessible. So I would like really think that like that wasn't compromised.
The next question was about embeds. How are you making those responsive for hero videos and other elements?
Yeah, that's obviously a little bit complicated, because like as you saw, the video is, so usually we use them like self-hosted videos, like if we want to use them like across the whole screen, or like in custom dimensions. So like with YouTube videos, I think first, like they usually don't really look good, like when you stretch them, and I think it's also like just not possible over like a certain size.
Then Lars asked, have you explored the layout paragraphs module? And if yes, what are the pros and cons between them?
So we've looked at a few. What we really would like to have actually as part of this front-end editing that we have is like the option of like being able to rearrange paragraphs in the front end. I think that's one of the things that like it does. And but otherwise we're quite happy like with what the paragraphs and the paragraphs experimental module just like provides out of the box.
All right, and Elaine is asking, I noticed a Seo tab. What are you using for that?
Yeah, like I showed it briefly, but the idea is like, so the SEO tag tab is supposed to just have like the meta tags form in it. You can add like obviously other form elements to it, but for us it's mainly for the meta tags form element, because like it's so big, right? And like in the sidebar you have like really little space to just actually work with it. And also usually or very often you just need like the defaults like properly set, and you will just change something like once in a while, and then you have it in their own tab. That's like speeds up also a little bit like the saving process, because like this huge form doesn't need to be processed like if you're just saving your content.
Okay. Question for April. How do you train or encourage your content editors to use the different paragraph options instead of just using the text paragraph?
Well, that's actually not so hard, because like once people get used a little bit like to like sort of like thinking in these sections, they prefer this, because like the layout is always correct, right? And also like we don't allow anything or we don't allow like more than the necessary like in the CK editor, right? And like if you work like with the CK editor and then you start like aligning and resizing images, like you never get like really good results, right? Or it's hard to get good results, and therefore like people are just better off like with the options that the paragraphs give them. And usually let's say at least like in the bigger projects, it's also quite there's policy like that the layout should not be different from what like has been thought of, so the paragraphs actually cover all the layout options that like the site should have.
And I think that was it. There is a question about a container that contains multiple modules for quick implementation, but I'm not really sure if you understand the question, like that are guaranteed to play well together. Like
I'm just gonna look here at the question.
Yeah, it's anonymous.
Like a container that contains multiple modules for easy, quick. No, I don't really understand it. I mean, what you can do is like obviously nest paragraphs, right? Like as you saw it, like for example, like if you have a slideshow with slides or a grid paragraph with elements in it, that obviously is an option. If I understood this right. If not, I'm not sure what's meant.
Yeah, João.
Yeah, like so. Patti was maybe hinting in a direction here. Yeah, obviously, like I mean, it's really easy to. So like usually, like the content type itself has like a paragraphs field for the header area and for the sidebar and for the content area, right? And so if you edit those fields in the backend administration, then you can like assign like paragraphs there or unassign them. So you could say like also that like I mean, if you want to allow having slideshows in the content area, then you just like go there and allow that paragraph type in the content area as well. It's no problem.
And I think those were the questions. And yeah, I don't see any new ones.
Okay. Then
there was a last one I here just posted. Any comments on Gutenberg and Geyser?
So I'm not familiar with Geyser, but like Gutenberg, I think, I mean, it's great for if you want to drop like unstructured content like into a text field, then it's actually really nice. But in the end, it's still then one field that has all the content. And I think like one of the nice things in Drupal is that you actually like really have the possibility to structure your content like nicely and in different entities and store them in different places and things. And if you've ever done a migration from WordPress like to Drupal, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the guys are, we've looked in the past, and there were some things, Artem, we can probably add an answer to the presentation or somewhere, that I know Artem looked into it and why we decided to do something different. It's more about, it's the front-end editing as well, but there was an explanation that he gave, but I don't recall about why we decided to build something different.
Yeah. Yeah, so if there's no more questions, then I would like to thank you for joining in. And you see contact details here, and we'll probably move over to a hallway track now. Like, so if you want to chat a little bit more, then feel free to join. Not sure, Diego, do you have an overview where there's some room in the hallway tracks?
Let me see. I can open a new window and check.
I have so many windows open here. I'm afraid.
Hallway track number 1 doesn't have anybody, so.
Yeah, okay. So I'll be in hallway track number 1, like for a bit, and so if you want to join and talk a bit more, then I'm happy to answer. All right, then thank you everyone. I posted like the link to the slides at the beginning of the chat, so feel free like also to look at them. Have a nice day, evening, morning, wherever you are.